All right, Bob Dunkerley, Bobby D. His family came all the way from Elkins, Parsons area, and Ryan and Karen is here. So Karen's over in the corner. Ryan's going to come up, his son. And Ryan, I watched you grow up, but from afar. If that makes sense. I hope that's not in a weird way.
I feel the same way about that.
But Bob Dunkerley was a teacher first and foremost, and then he moved to the central office, and then he consulted for the state, and he also worked with us. And the first time I met Bob Dunkerley, he was always smiling, very cheerful, and just a wonderful human being. And I was like, I got to be friends with that guy. Because he carries himself well, he's professional, he knows a lot about how the state works and the education system works, and we needed more of that. And we started talking about data and presentations, and I will say Bob was one of the most joyful people to be around. And I loved it. I talked to him 2 or 3 weeks through COVID, every 2 or 3 weeks during COVID via Zoom, and we had the best conversations just because Bob was a joy to be around. And he always loved his kiddos. You know, no matter where they were, he could say, these are the poorest kiddos in a rural area, they're always kiddos. And that's one of the things I remember about him and what I always liked, and how he helped us go to the next level. And really, Bob was a game changer for us because I didn't have that knowledge of working with the state. I didn't have the knowledge of how central office politics work a lot. And I did fill some of those gaps in with some of our board members and other people in the community. But Bob really helped us change the game. And I'll tell a quick story on Bob. We asked him to help us with a presentation. And he's a music guy. He judges band competitions, and I believe was a music teacher for a while. And so I was like, Bob, how can we tie? And this is when Eric worked for us as well. It's like math and music go hand in hand. And so we wanted to kind of make that connection during one of our presentations. And he's like, I got this. And he shows up and he rolls out and he's like, yeah, would you believe I can dribble a basketball 100 times a minute? And I was blown away. I was like, all right. I'm not a basketball player, so no, I can't. And he's like, okay, so that was how he started off the presentation. He came out with 2 drumsticks with little rubber basketballs on the end. And he started drumming, and he related how music can be turned into beats, which can be turned into fractions, and rolled us through, where he was just drumming away. And it was one of the best presentations I'd been to or seen or had anything to do with. And I wrote on his coattails. I was like, yeah, I bought that guy. And so, anyway, that was Bob Dunkerley for us. He did a lot of our evaluative stuff, a lot of our data crunching, and made sense of our numbers, because we had massive numbers at one point. I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but we had Rome County, Jackson County, Mason County, and Work County. And those were big programs, and Bob crunched all the numbers for us, because he was that guy. So we do appreciate Ryan and Karen. And I'll mention Karen as well did preschool trainings for us. She's a Montessori expert and helped us get our preschool off the ground and going in the right direction. So Bob would come down to do the data stuff. Karen would train our preschool teachers, and it was always a good trip. So we do appreciate you making the trip. Ryan, thank you. Thank you.